So, hi everyone, my name is Obi Abuchi, and I am delighted to be speaking with Linda Moir today. It's International Women's Day, and this year, the theme is Choose to Challenge. And Linda is one of many female leaders who has made an incredible difference and continues to by challenging inequality. And so, Linda, it is a delight to have you here with me today, and really looking forward to our conversation. Linda works as a consultant in the field of customer and employee experience. She's worked in a number of roles over the years. She was responsible for the spectator experience, London 2012 Olympics, both the Olympics and the Paralympics. Linda's been a director of customer experience at Virgin Atlantic, responsible for over 5,000 employees, and has also been the HR director at Air Traffic Control. So one thing that Linda absolutely has a passion for in all that she's done is for people and for service, and no doubt we'll hear some of that today. So Linda, thank you for joining me. I'm really delighted to have you here.
Thanks, Obi. It's absolutely great to be here and chat with you about this. It's such an important topic. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity.
Brilliant. And in fact, let's dive in, Linda, because you've already said this is a topic that matters to you. It's a topic that's really important to you. Why is that? Why is women's equality so important to you?
So I was thinking about this and thinking, so why am I as passionate about this topic now as I was when I was younger than I am now? And I suppose, it's really, really simple. At a personal level, I'm female, and I've certainly had to punch to get some of the opportunities that I've had. I've got two daughters. The lack of equality, the lack of equality on a really broad range of issues really offends me. It offends me at a profoundly values-based level. So, I used to, back in the day when I used to challenge things, people would say to me, why are you getting so worked up about this? Why, that awful term, are you one of those women's libbers? I'm so pleased that's gone away, that term, and now we can all kind of join together and be feminists. But I suppose it just really, really offends me that there isn't equality. I do think alongside that, in an organisation sense, organisations that don't naturally try to offer equality, I think they're really, really missing out in terms of the quality of the service they offer, the quality of the experience that their employees have, and the quality of numerous other decisions. So I think the equality argument can be argued not just from a kind of profoundly personal level, which is the one that touches me, but it can also be argued very much as being part of what just good business does. And if they don't do it, then they're probably not a good business.
Wow. So, incredible, powerful words there. And it's interesting, hearing the personal side of it for you. And sometimes people don't understand that. They don't understand how you've had to punch. They don't understand the frustration. But also just wanting the best opportunities for your daughters as well. But I love the fact that you're also able to see the other side and say, it's not just personal. This is great. This is good business. This will make a difference. And if you're not thinking in this way or acting in this way, then you are missing out on the opportunity for a lot of the things that you mentioned. There are things organizations want, the quality of service, the quality of those decisions as well. So clearly an important,
I mean, just to expand on that point slightly. So, nearly every organization I know is in the service business one way or the other. Everybody has customers. They might be business to business customers. You might be working in the public sector. So your customers may not be immediately obvious. However, everybody does have customers. And unless you have a mindset around equality, around having an open mind about who your customers might be, I really think organizations are missing out, and they're not going to be able to offer the customer experience that they aspire to in order to be successful. So I think the point about equality is not just, should be something that's hidden on an HR agenda somewhere. It fundamentally should be in business objectives.
Wow, brilliant. Yeah. So organizations listening to this, if you want to make a difference, this has got to be a priority. Fantastic. I'd love to explore. You've had tons of experience from the air traffic control and Virgin Atlantic and the Olympics, and you've seen loads of people in that time, and no doubt come across some incredible stories and achievements. Could you share a story of a woman's achievement that's particularly special to you in this area?
Well, I have been so privileged to work with so many amazing people and so many amazing women. But the example I want to pick is not a business person, actually. I want to pick one of my absolute heroes, and that is Serena Williams, who everyone will know as probably one of the greatest athletes of all time, certainly one of the greatest female athletes of all time. And the reason I love Serena, well, many reasons I love Serena, but one of the things I love about her is she's so powerful and so successful, and she's picked her own way of being successful. So I love that she's not a kind of skinny, dare I say this, blonde. It's a classic opinion of what people thought of when they think of tennis players. She's a powerful, strong, curvy woman. And rather than hide that, she's right out there celebrating that. So anyone who's a big tennis fan like me will see that Serena wears some really fantastically outrageous outfits that really celebrates who she is. And I love hearing commentators kind of struggling, knowing quite what to say about this. Then she goes out there and she wins. And I think she's just fantastic. So, yeah, I guess the reason I've picked her is that she is unapologetic about who she is. And I think that should be inspiring for women, for young women. I mean, Serena once said, if I can wear this, you can wear this. And I thought that was such a great expression. So, yeah, she's one of my favorites.
I love that. I mean, what a great example of, and the way you described it is, she really owns her space and is happy with who she is and isn't trying to fit in order to be accepted, but has accepted herself for who she is and celebrates who she is, and goes out there and wins as well, which is incredible.
And she wins. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really interesting point, because maybe by winning and being, I mean, gosh, history will look back and say, wow, what an athlete. Maybe that gives you the confidence. So maybe with success comes the confidence to say, this is who I am. I don't care what you think. I'm going to wear a one-legged catsuit. I don't care. Maybe that comes with success. I don't know. But I think we as women can learn something from that. You need to not wait to be given confidence. You need to take it. And and that's what I love about her. She's just grabbed it with both hands.
Yeah, brilliant. Love that. Just, don't wait to be given that confidence. Just take it and run with it. And I can just imagine just how much that fuels a passion, a desire, and an ability to unleash more of your potential, which it clearly has with Serena. So thank you for sharing that. There's something I'd love to explore now, and in a way you sort of alluded to it by saying, oh, you know, some people may have looked at Serena and her different dresses and not really known how to approach it. And there's clearly biases that people have, or stereotypes. And what type of biases, whether conscious or unconscious, are you seeing today?
Yeah. Brilliant question, because, you know, we've had equality law in the United Kingdom for, golly, many, many years, and yet we still don't have equality. So I think in many ways, bias has had to become a little bit more clever and a little bit more subtle to kind of maintain the status quo. So I think there are two, if I move the focus into business now, there are two areas where I think maybe unconscious bias, maybe conscious bias, I don't know, but really can have a big effect still on gender equality. The first is this issue of long working hours, which maybe with the pandemic, that could go in one of two ways. We'll talk about that in a moment. But certainly throughout my career, there was a view that said, if you weren't able to stay at work till 7:30, sorry, you're just not committed. You know, this job's not really for you if you can't put in the hours. Whereas the many effective women that I've worked in focus totally on the outputs of what needs to be delivered, and don't faff around with the kind of politics and the drinks after work and all that stuff. So I think there's something about how work is done and how value is assessed that's still around long hours culture, which isn't helpful for women who still have the majority of the caring responsibilities in families. It's not helpful for men either, I have to say, but I think it often is prejudicial for women. The second area that I feel there is still an element, a lot of unconscious bias, is in the nature of how pay is made up between pay and bonus. And the whole issue about performance bonuses is very opaque. The rules around who gets what as a bonus is always very kind of shady and not published in an overt way. So I think thank goodness, organizations now have to publish the gender pay gap. And often the organizations that fail that test, it's because of this element of discretionary bonus, where somebody might be paid because he's, dare I say it, you know, he's kind of one of us, or a good egg, or a hard worker, or good at golf, or whatever horrible thing it might be. But I think that this area of bonus allows organizations to maintain some of those differentials. So those are the kind of thoughts I've got. And both of those thoughts, actually, they don't help men either. The issue of long hours culture does not help men. And the fact that bonus is opaque, I'm sure there are men who are excluded from that club in the same way that women are often excluded from that club as well. So yeah, that's where I'd like to put my pound if I was ruling the world now.
Brilliant. I said earlier on that, you know, the theme for International Women's Day is choose to challenge, and that's clearly just two things that you've courageously just called out there. The long working hours, you know, how work is done, how it's assessed, and pay. Hopefully that people listening to this will, just because how concrete those examples are, will think about what's going on here and what do we need to rethink, what assumptions are we making that are driving behaviors that may be unhelpful for our organization, and putting a blocker for women too. So thank you for calling those out, Linda.
Great. Yeah, do you know, it's just as we're chatting now, I'm reminded of many, many, many years ago when I worked at British Airways, and the culture was definitely, you know, the longer you stayed, the harder you worked, the better you were. And I remember having colleagues who would leave a spare suit jacket on the back of their chair with the light on in their office and go home, so that if anybody walked past, it would look like they were still there. What a waste of energy.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not like that now, but I guess, yeah, that culture is toxic, and that needs to be changed.
Yeah, you say a waste of energy and toxic, and also just draining. Must be incredibly draining, the pressure to live under, or to be under in that sort of situation. Linda, I'd love to wrap up with just a final question about, you know, clearly this is a topic that you're passionate about. You've got some incredible insights into. What else are you doing to take action or just establish equality for women?
Thanks for asking me that, because you know, it's all very well having an opinion, isn't it? But when the rubber hits the road, what are you doing? So I think I'm doing a couple of things. The first is, and it's the advantage of being at sort of, I suppose, towards the tail end of my career, is I'm just not staying silent anymore. So whereas, you know, maybe earlier in my career, I would let that one, you know, let's win the war, not the battle. I think we need to challenge every single battle, every single, you know, bit of language that's inappropriate. Every single time there's a bit of something that looks like unconscious bias. I'm now in the great position where I will happily challenge and take on anybody on the subject. So I guess at a personal level, that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing professionally, which I've always found really interesting, you know, throughout my career, given my interest in people and service, I was told, oh yes, Linda, that's that soft stuff, isn't it? You're good at all those soft skills. I really resent that language, because actually things around people and service, they're not soft, they're really hard. And so I think by challenging the language around the people side of the most important side of leadership, the people side of leadership, that's how we can create a more equal platform as well. So I am just a massive challenger, and I don't stay silent on things anymore.
Brilliant. I mean, aren't people like you absolutely needed right now in so many areas? Just that realization that it's, you know, being silent is almost contributing to part of the
absolutely
problem.
Right.
So,
not okay.
yeah,
it's not okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes I take a deep breath and think, okay, I thought this was going to be a 10-minute conversation. It's going to be a longer conversation, but it's worth it. You know, you may not change somebody's mindset immediately. You can't walk away from it. You can't turn. Being silent is colluding. Wow. So you have to deal with it.
Wow, thank you, Linda. I love that just last bit you said, that you may not be able to change, you know, someone's mindset, but you can still just contribute to the journey towards a change in thinking there. So that's fantastic. Wow, Linda, it has been incredible. I feel like we could go on for ages.
I'm sure we could.
Just as we wrap up, any final thoughts, to anyone listening, what else would you say as the sort of final words of wisdom on this topic?
Well, my goodness, there are so many things to be said about this particular issue, and I'm so pleased we have International Women's Day so that we can keep this topic in the front of everybody's minds. As far as business is concerned, this is an everyday, every interaction, every process. It should be in the bloodstream of everything that businesses do, not be something that everybody kind of panics about once a year and thinks, you know, what should we do this year? So I think I love that we have International Women's Day. I'll be so thrilled when we don't need it.
Wow, brilliant. Yeah, So what a great tip. Let's make this become so mainstream that we no longer need International Women's Day, because it's just become the way we do things.
How we do stuff. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Linda. I wish you all the best with what you're doing. No doubt you will not stay silent, and you will keep challenging, which is incredible. So many people out there will be grateful for what you're doing. So thank you so much for your time, Linda. Really great to speak with you.
Great to meet you too. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome.